Welcome back, sleepers of the Arrakis sands, to another deep desert resource and blueprint guide. That's right, the Coriolis storm has swept across the dunes and once again reshaped the desert and uncovered brand new exciting points of interest for us to explore. And speaking of exploring, don't forget to explore the comment section below and leave a few kind words to enter yourself into this week's free game giveaway, Chinese New Year's edition. That's right, every week this incredible community helps push these guides deeper into YouTube's algorithm through your likes, shares, and subscriptions. And the best way I can show you my appreciation is by giving back to you. Just type anything in the comments and you could win your very own copy of Dune Awakening. Now, tighten your steel suit, check your supplies, and let's head back into the deep desert because the sands have shifted and new discoveries await. And the mysteries of the deep desert are in absolute clear view. However, it's up to you now to take a second to think about where your base should be built this week to maximize your access to all of those great resources and POIs out there deep in the deep desert. Kicking things off by popular demand, we have the loot caves that are out there this week in the deep desert. Not a lot of them have popped up on the map so far, so I'm not sure if this is a complete view of all the cave systems. I actually believe that there's going to be more than this out there. However, we do at least know that there are two large loot caves for you to be jumping into, one in B2, the other one sitting here on the edge of B8 and C8. So if you are into jumping out there and getting all those extra resources that come from those loot caves, at least we know of two that are out there on the map this week, and they should offer you enough little side fun to jump out there and grab them as often as you possibly can. But of course, the one thing that we are all looking forward to is getting that beautiful spice, because we need more spice melange to do everything in the game now. And keeping this in mind, we see that the spice has more or less been spread across the safe sections pretty much evenly, like jam across toast. That is going to be excluding the E1D1 zone, but as you can see, everything else is pretty much just spread clearly across the map itself. In fact, this week I am actually doing something different because I usually am adamant about telling people to be building somewhere right here in the middle of the map. But this week, I'm actually going to tell you that the best places to be looking for stuff on the map is going to be more easterly side. As you will see as we move through this map, that you will notice a whole bunch of POIs as well as resources are within inside the gathering range of everything out here. And not only that, you don't really see many islands out here in the middle section of the E zone. So it looks like we're going to have to play a little bit of cat and mouse and try to get out there and find a base somewhere on the edges of the deep desert. And I'm going to tell you the first place you want to be looking is going to be out here on the east side. And keep in mind that these medium spice fields have been spawning and despawning a lot faster. So if you're not seeing them out there, just be patient. I think Funcom is playing with the spawn rates and making it harder for people to be gathering medium spice fields, as they want us to be jumping deep into the desert and grabbing those large spice plumes in the dirty PvP zones. Now, taking a look at where you can be grabbing your stravinium and titanium this week, it is the largest possible place to be found is right here in F. This is kind of a godsend for us, as we've been having to go kind of deep out here to grab all of our plastinium components, but it looks like this week we are fortunate enough to be able to find two large nodes just a couple of kilometers off from each other. This is why I've been saying from the beginning that the east side of the map is probably going to be your best choice for trying to grab a place to build your base this week, because as you can see, D4, E4, E5, these are kind of just empty empty desert this week. Now, you do have a little bit of stuff up here in E6, but as always, people, I want to remind you, never build your base past the E line, because that DMZ zone turns into danger and you will get your base raided by people. So as you can see, there is a lot of real estate, but you can't really rely on this real estate because most of it is in the danger zone. But there are places over here like in E7 that you can find little speckles of islands that you could probably be building off of. And as you can see already, when it comes to gathering titanium and stravinium, they are close up to each other and making it a good choice to either be building out here in the E or D lower areas or across on the sides in the ED7 zone. Now add the large spice plumes to the mix and you can see that we have a large leaning towards the east side this week. Now I'm not going to say that the west is completely useless, but you know that the close up spice plumes rarely ever pop. It's usually going to be something that is out here. Therefore, what I'm going to tell you is the best places for you to be finding a place to sit up this week are going to be out here in the E7, E8 area, because you're going to have that quick access to these deep large spice plumes in a closer position, and you can also fly back and forth to the stravinium and titanium really closely. And also keeping that in mind, everything out here in D, E4, and E5 look to be just open desert this week, so there's nothing really out there to find. Not only mentioning that, anything that you want to get on the northern side of the E zone is going to be danger zone, so you got to make sure that you're jumping out there quickly into the east and finding one of these little speckled islands to get your base set up properly and quickly this week. And this is overall due to the fact that everything is pretty much just leaning over to the east. Not only do we have 1, 2 testing stations, but we have all 3 of the large shipwrecks, not to mention all of the stravinium and titanium and this big boy that has like 97 of them in it out there in H8, but you have everything that is in reachable stance from going on the center to the east side of the map this week. Now, keeping that in mind, as we've talked about before, there are just a few speckles. I would probably try to get out here to E7 as quickly as I possibly could this week and try to jump on one of these little speckled islands, because with E7 you do have access to everything in a very central way this week, because the map tends to be leaning a little bit to the right side. If you can't reach out there quick enough, then try to get out here to the D7, E7 area. There's a few speckled islands out there for you, and you can also get the D5, E5 island specs. There's plenty of real estate, but once again, if you want to get up there and be closest to all those big resources and isolate yourself without having anybody on your sides to spy on you, I'm going to say E7 is probably your best bet this week. For the first time ever, this is the one opportunity that I can tell you that setting up in the middle of the map might not actually be the best choice for you. So make sure that you jump out there early and get that base built and those land claims posted. As always, if you are new to Dune Awakening and you have a working ornithopter, make sure you're jumping out there to the A row and doing all of the testing stations. Each testing station offers you 30 intel points. At the end of the day, that is 180 free intel points every single week. If you have not maxed out your research, this is the best way to do it. Don't sleep on the A row, sleepers. And as always, my favorite time of the week is giving those shout outs to all of you great supporters out there that help me make this world a better place by pushing out the deep desert map so that more people can learn about the exotic nature of the changes of the deep desert each week. Starting off, we have Fishua. Thank you, a true student of the land's rat economy. Only the wise know to stockpile the sacred off-world Regis components before the great Monday shifting of the sands. While others sleep, you secured your future, just as the Mentats calculated, my friend. The spice must flow, but so must good resource management. Shai Halud approves. Gurufus, my friend, your gratitude echoes across the dunes like a thumper calling the maker. I merely read the winds of Arrakis and report what the spice reveals. Stay vigilant and keep your steel suit tight, and may your harvest be plentiful, my friend. The desert rewards rewards the prepared. Navy sailor, much appreciated. Veteran of long war against dehydration and sandstorms. On Arrakis, survival itself is victory. May your water remain pure, your blade sharp, and your spice storage overflowing. Respect from one desert wanderer to another, my friend. Germex Machnia, when news moves, it rides a sandworm, and I simply held on tight. The dunes whispered secrets to those who listen, and spreading the word quickly is how we keep this tribe alive. Stay tuned, because on Arrakis, information is just another form of spice. Thank you all for taking time to join me and sharing this week's deep desert resource and blueprint guide. I hope that I've helped you guys find a place for your new real estate establishment. And as always, remember to leave a comment below so that you have a chance to win that deep desert game of the year, a Dune Awakening. Thank you all. Keep your steel suits tight, your knives sharp, your eyes in the skies, and have a great day.